Hi, and welcome back. So now we're reading chapter 20 in Freak the Mighty by Rodman Philbrick. Chapter 20 Freak the Mighty Strikes Again. Even a total goon like me knows you can't stop Killer Kane. But I go ahead and try anyhow. My hands are still numbed out and I can hardly walk. So all I can do is sort of fall on top of him and try to shove him loose from her. I'm going, "Stop! I see you! I see you! Daddy! Please, please, stop! You're killing her!" He just twitches me away. He's made of iron and steel. He's gritting his teeth and squeezing her neck. You can see the whites of her eyes, and she's not even trying to get away anymore. I try to get between them, and I'm going, "I saw you kill her. I saw you kill Mom. I never forgot. Not ever. I know you did it. I know." It's like I'm trapped underwater or something, so weak and floaty. I can hardly fight him. Can't pry his fingers loose from my mother's neck, from Loretta's neck, because everything is mixed up and he's doing the same thing to Loretta Lee he did to my mom, choking the life out of her. And he's got the same cold, killer look because he wants her to die, like he wanted Mom to die. And nothing else matters except what he wants. I'm there in the dark, pushing at him. The light catches her eyes, and I can see her looking at me. She's so far away, it's like I'm 4 years old again, peeking out from behind the bedroom door, and then running to bang my little fist at him, excuse me, while the light fades from her eyes. I can't get him loose of her, so all I can do is keep screaming, "I know you killed her! I saw you! I saw you do it! You killed her, and I'll never forget, not ever!" Finally, he kind of jerks his head, and I can feel him looking at me. And then his hands open. Loretta slips away, and I can hear her breathing like a broken bird in the cellar dark. "What?" he says, reaching for me. "What did you say?" "I saw you do it," I say. "I saw you kill my mother." "You weren't but 4 years old," he says, and now his big hands are starting to curl around my neck, except he's holding me soft. I can feel his heart beating and his cool breath in my face that makes me want to fall asleep. "You can't possibly recall that event," he says. "You think you can, but you can't." "I can," I say. "I do." "That's the poison they put in your mind, boy. They brainwashed you into thinking you can remember." He's pulling me closer, holding me soft by the neck, and now I can feel the pulse in his hands. "They never talk about it," I say. "They don't have to because I can't ever forget it, no matter how much I try." "No," he says, and his face is so close I can feel the heat rising off of him. "Impossible. You can't." "You are wearing your brown corduroy trousers," I say, talking so fast it makes me shake inside, "and the black t-shirt with no sleeves. I tried to stop you and I couldn't, and you carried me back into my room and put me to bed and told me I was just dreaming. You locked me in that room and I ran to the window and broke it with my hand and started yelling for someone to come and help Mommy." My father sighs and says, "Lord, I wish you hadn't done that, boy. It cost me years." "They caught you, Daddy, and they put you away forever, except then you fooled them and they let you go." "I have to clean this up," he says, like he's talking to himself alone. "I have to clean this up and get out of here." That's when his hands start to tighten hard and faster on my neck. I'm trying to fight him, but I'm so small and weak and he's so big and strong. You can't stop him. No one can stop Killer Kane. He squeezes and squeezes and squeezes. I'm in this faraway place falling backwards, real slow and dreamy. And when I hear a window breaking, then a small faraway voice is saying, "Put your hands up, villain!" And I really am falling and the air is coming back into my lungs so fast it hurts. I'm lying there all crumpled up sideways. I see Freak. He's rolled down through the cellar window like the pile of coal, and he's trying to stand up. "I'm warning you," he says in that fierce, bold way he has. He's got a squirt gun, one of those big blaster models that holds about a gallon of water. Killer Kane is looking at me. He's looking at Loretta all crumpled and moaning. He's looking at Freak. Then he shakes his head and goes, I know a real gun when I see it, you little monster. He makes a move reaching out. Freak scuttles back a little ways, but he can't really run. And even if he could, there's no place to go. This is your partner in crime? Killer Kane says to me. I guess maybe you are a retard after all. Freak is pointing the squirt gun right in his face and he says, Guess what I got for Christmas, Mr. Kane? Guess right, because your life depends on it. Killer Kane doesn't say anything. He's just reaching out real slow because he knows that Freak can't get away. This squirt gun, Freak says, and a chemistry set. That's what I got for Christmas. Killer Kane just looks at the squirt gun. He shakes his head like, who are you kidding? Sulfuric acid, Freak says, raising up the gun and sighting along the barrel. Good old reliable H2SO4, an oily, colorless, corrosive liquid used in dyes, paints, explosives, and many chemical experiments. Killer Kane says, You're lying, kid. You can't fool me. That's when Freak squeezes the trigger and sprays him right in the eyes. Then Killer Kane is screaming in his high, scared voice. His hands are rubbing at his eyes, and it's like that scream wakes me up. Because the next thing I know, I've got Freak in my arms and I'm running through the dark for the stairs, running as fast as I can, on feet, and I can't even feel. Go, Freak is yelling. He's right behind you, go. I can't look back, but I can feel him, feel the icy cold breath of him on the back of my neck, and the hands reaching blind to grab me, and then I'm going up the stairs, just blind. The steps are breaking under my feet, and he's howling in rage behind me. His hands are scrambling at my ankles, and for just a second, he has me. I kick loose, excuse me, and then we're up on the first floor, bursting out of the cellar hole. I can see daylight coming through the boarded up plywood, and I cover Freak with my arms and just dive right into that plywood. Wham! The sunlight blinds me, and we're skitter rolling through the clean, cold snow. Hands are grabbing at me, and I'm fighting to get away. Easy, a voice says. Take it easy, kid. You're okay. Iggy Lee. He's looking down at me with red eyes, and you can see where he's been chewing all at his beard. I'm sitting in the snow, squinting up as Iggy and all these cops. There must be a million cops. And Freak is laughing like a maniac and saying, It worked. He fell for it. Soap and vinegar and curry powder. It worked like a charm. I don't understand what he's talking about right then. It's only later I figure out that there wasn't any real acid in the squirt gun. It was soap and vinegar and curry powder that made Killer Kane think his eyes were burning up. Killer Kane, who was still rubbing frantic at his eyes and begging for help when they put the handcuffs on him and shove him into the back of a police van. All I've got room to think about is poor Loretta. That's what I'm telling the cops, that she's down there in the cellar. I'm afraid that no one is listening, but they must be. Because right away they're bringing her up on the cellar and Iggy's running to her and crying out her name. She's still breathing, somebody says. Then Graham is shoving through the crowd of cops and Grim is right behind her. And Gwen is there too. And everybody is making a big sloppy fuss. Especially Graham, who's hugging me so tight I can hardly breathe. The fair Gwen is hugging Freak, and she's saying, I told you to stay in that car, didn't I? Didn't I? Freak. He's looking over his shoulder at me, looking at Graham's shoulder, and he gives me the thumbs up as she carries him away. Freak the Mighty, he says. Freak the Mighty strikes again. Dun dun dun. That's the end of chapter 20. We're going to go ahead and move on to chapter 1, so I'll see you in the next section, chapter 21. Have a good day.